Hey everybody, we're doing a recap today, which means I traded. I wasn't planning on trading today. I said I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I was up late last night wrapping presents. Um, I really got to bed later than I would have liked. And so obviously I slept a little less, and we talked about how that can kind of be a negative influence on your trading. But I thought I'd get up and just kind of see how things looked and go from there. There were a couple of names that I had on the list, and they actually ended up working out well and green on the day. So that makes our third green day out of a 4 day week, which is great. Came away with $576 today. Could have been a lot more, to be honest, but I missed. I didn't. I put in an order and only had a partial fill. So on one of the moves, I made less. I was also mindful of the fact that I didn't expect big moves today because obviously we're going to see lower volume in the market today. And in my experience, that leads to moves that are less definitive, and it's probably better to take some profit. And I didn't expect to trade today, so anything is really a bonus that I was looking at. If I could get some profits in, then that would be great. But I only took a few trades, and we can only see 33,000 shares traded. Took a few trades here, and that's it. And uh, like I said, we're looking at a $500 gain. It was a little more in commissions than I expected yesterday, but I also did borrow some shares that cost me a little bit, so that probably factored in as well. But overall, it's great. We're up now, looking at a little over 6,000, 6,200 in that range for profits in small account. I had this one on my watch list initially over 45.50. Didn't catch that entry. Then I did get in a little bit later for the break of 46, and then I got in again for the break of 47. You see this little gap here. We call this a gap fill. So I was pretty confident that this was going to go if it broke 47 to 48. It did that. You can see this great move that it made. I was not expecting this on Christmas Eve day. Really, really strong move from, like I said, 45.50 up to 50 pretty much. So I missed out on the totality of the move. I had 500 shares. If I had held that, obviously it would have been a great day. But again, it was about managing risk, being smart about today. I didn't want to have a bad trade and frustrated going into Christmas and all that. So, obviously could have been better, but can't complain. And there was some positives there. So, yeah, so RMG here was another one that I had on the watch list. This one also moved. I had it on watch. We can see yesterday it had a high here of heading towards 30, and then pre-market it was topping out at about 32. I had noticed yesterday this was pretty strong on its break of whole dollars. So I was watching it over 32. Sure enough, it broke over 32 and made its way up to $34 here. So $2 winner. I took profit on the way up. I got out, and then I got back in on a break of 33 towards 34. Took some profit on the way up. So obviously, again, that was a stronger move than I had anticipated. I didn't expect a whole lot. I thought maybe a quick scalp, but it was pretty strong. So that was great. And the other one I was watching on my watch list. So obviously, like I said, the watch list was really great. On my watch initially, I had RMG, BLNK, BABA, BABA, and what was the other one I had? XL. XL was the only one that didn't do anything. It just faded out and sold off. But BABA was the other one I had on watch for a short. But I didn't take this one because it has a tendency to be a little bit difficult of a trader. And the daily chart didn't look fantastic for me. I thought there was quite a bit of support that might get in the way. I did think if it broke this level, so I'll pull it out a little bit. So I did think if it broke, let's see, this is a little confusing. Give me a second. So we can see the high here is 225 at this level. So this is where the gap fill would be coming into support. And this is where the gap entry on the break of support. So I was looking at this here. See this little gap? We call this a gap, right? There's a gap in the chart that needs to be filled, and algorithms will look at this, and obviously other traders like me will look at this and say, okay, pricing, the price points are suggesting that we need to fill this gap. If we break this level, then there's nothing in between this area, and we're going to head to this support level at 225. So we can see this here, right? On the levels, see it found support at this level, right? The gap entry. And then pre-market, it kind of faded a bit and then broke down. And it did end up heading to 225. It found some support here at this level, right? You can see as it priced sideways a bit, and then boom, broke that level and continued lower. So this made a better move than I thought it would. And actually the trend was pretty good overall, but normally this one is kind of a tougher trader. So I wanted to stay away from it on a day like today where we're gonna have less volume. And usually if the stock's a tougher trader, it doesn't make really momentum-based moves, more of a trend trader. But it was nice. I initially looked at an entry pre-market here at 228, and I was in for a bit. I ended up taking a smaller loss on it, but I got back out after this little pop up, and then that was it. It popped back up, tested 220, 230 here, and then I was pretty much done for the rest of the day so far. So another week and a half, and then 2020 trading is done with, and we're on to new journeys and new paths. So so far good, good work. And I think I'm, based on how this week has gone, I'm probably gonna take some money out of this account. My sizing is okay. I don't really want to increase my sizing too much yet. So if I take some money out of the equity out of the account, my buying power is going to drop, but it probably won't make a difference in terms of my trading. So I think that's a fair move to make. And like I said, I don't necessarily have to take the money out of the account, but it might be a smart thing to do in case worst case scenario, something happens in the account, and I've taken out. I'm not going to take out everything, but I take out some of my initial capital. I still have that there, right? So if you're starting at your account, you've grown it, and maybe you're a newer trader, there's always the risk that you will blow up your account. I have blown up accounts. Every trader I know that's been successful has blown up their accounts. So if you can get that initial capital out, right? If you can get the $2,500 out to start the account and put that in another account somewhere and say, hey, you know what, I'm not going to touch this, or maybe put it into some swings or some longer term, just let it, savings account, whatever, and allow that to sit there. Worst case scenario, if something happens and you need to restart, you can, and that's there, and that's your grace, right? So for me, I'm not too concerned about that aspect. However, it's more of I've put in work over the past, a little over a month, and been disciplined and diligent, and worked hard at this, and so it's obviously you want to reward yourself for some of those returns. So I think maybe I'll take somewhere around 1,400 out the account, and leave myself at about 7,500 equity, and then go from there. So if we do have that occur, and my equity is different on the next trading recap that we do, that's going to be why. So we'll still continue counting profits from there. Hopefully we accrue some more, but we'll say that we were at about 8,900 in equity at the time, and then had that pull out and continued onward. So I hope you guys have a good, like I said, a good couple of days, and rest up, and it's a kind of a trying time that we've been through in 2020, but that's okay. These are a lot of the time, things can be perceived as a setback, but they can also be opportunities to work on things. And for me, I'm taking this as an opportunity to improve my skill set when it comes to trading. And that's what I'm going to do over the next little while, and continue with that. So I hope you guys are finding something, and hopefully, maybe this will help you in the future, um, in growing as an individual, and developing a new skill set.